So finally, let's talk about the US Supreme Court nominee, Ketanji Brown Jackson. She has been quizzed on what is apparently the most difficult question in the world, as we've learned in the UK, but the question has now moved to the US, on what is a woman? And she struggled a fair bit and said, I'm not a biologist. Luke, do you want to say something on this?
Well, I think it's fascinating. I mean, if a biologist had come out and gave her an opinion and said a woman is someone with female genitals, that biologist would probably be cancelled anyway in today's day and age.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult. It is a difficult question because everyone's too scared to state simple biological fact in an open way. And that's really troubling when it comes to someone who is taking a seat in one of the most powerful institutions on earth. I mean, the US Supreme Court shapes law in a way that the UK judiciary doesn't even, that they have a huge political influence in the United States. And I think what this signifies is that people, including Supreme Court judges, are terrified of saying the wrong thing on this subject, even when it comes down to something as basic as the definition of a woman. I mean, there is no ambiguity biologically around that, and it's not particularly complicated. This indicates that people are scared to say it. And that's a really terrifying thing. It's a question of, can you tell the truth here? Can you be straight with us? Can you speak to a nation that you're seeking to represent in layman's terms, in reflecting what the vast majority of society believe? The vast majority of society understands that, I think I put it in my article as the sky is blue and the grass is green. Yeah. Women and men are divided on sexual difference. And I think the reason why this is so important, people have made jokes about the fact that, you know the difference between a giraffe and a dog and you're not a zoologist and all this kind of thing. And it's largely stupid. But if she was on the Supreme Court, one of the most major threats to women's freedom at the moment is abortion rights. And if you have a Supreme Court judge who is unable to define who a woman is, how the hell do you expect her to fight for and argue for a protection of women's rights under Roe versus Wade when we know that from heartbeat bills to 6-week abortion bans and all this crazy stuff that's happening in America, women and the question of women's bodily freedom and their biology is a central argument. So she better learn, if she doesn't know already, what a woman is, because the Supreme Court has there are some serious challenges facing Supreme Court judges, worrying challenges that relate to women specifically, not trans women, not men, women and their bodies.
And Luke, the context of the question was relating to a quote from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Do you want to explain that? Yeah, so Ruth Bader Ginsburg, or RBG, as she is now become known, was a huge liberal hero on the Supreme Court for a long time. And she was a sort of feminist activist responsible for some really key decisions in bringing around women's rights in the United States. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg recently passed away. And the question that was asked to this nominee was directly a quote from Ruth Bader Ginsburg about the differences between men and women, which is interesting because you're seeing now a passage into potentially a new sort of era of judicial thinking on the US Supreme Court. How persuasive is this going to be? Yeah. Is this new woke ideology going to take the place of that kind of more progressive, female-orientated approach that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was famous for championing? Are we seeing the death of that old liberal approach to women's rights and the emergence of something completely different? I agree with Ella, it's very worrying.